In today's news, track meet returns this weekend to celebrate youth and legacy. Salary increase for HLSCC retroactive to January 2025. Championing inclusive employment at recent graduation. SKELTON CLINE warns businesses may shift to other markets. We have the details of this and much more coming right up after a word from our sponsors.
As the winds start to whisper of approaching storms, it's time to safeguard your sanctuary.
Hey, have you checked your insurance policy lately?
Not recently, why?
It's very important to check your insurance policy before the hurricane season.
That's a good idea. I'll reach out to my provider and get some information.
Awesome. Come son, let's plan for emergencies together. We're gonna include your favorite comfort kit.
Thanks, Dad. That makes me feel safer.
We're packing extra medications and extra batteries for your hearing aid.
And by the way, don't forget my glasses.
Okay, Pops.
Alright, let me see. Okay.
Going on, dog?
What you saying? You good?
You got truck? How you
Well,
on here doing?
I hear trimming some of the branches to make sure they don't cause a frig when the storm come.
Fair point. I gotta go clean out the gutter them down by me, so nothing don't build up. You know how that could go some.
Makes sense. That's all good. We gotta be prepared.
Facts.
Sometimes we get off track, but that's okay.
Yo, thanks for chilling with the dog today, you know.
Man, anytime, you know I got you.
Yeah, but the place so damn hot now. And you know the old people them say when it's so hot, a storm somewhere out there coming.
Listen, I rebuke that in the name of great God of the universe, okay? Let me move these stuff so they don't cause a problem.
Alright, me and my neighbor window get knocked out at all, my son.
Remember, we're in this together. Reach out to your community, lend a hand, and shield each other from the storm's challenges. A message from the Department of Disaster Management and 284 Media.
Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of 284 News. It is Friday, June 20th, 2025. I'm Ron Grant, bringing you the very latest out of Tortola in the beautiful Virgin Islands. Thank you so much for joining us and happy Friday's wish to all. The Patrick Harrigan Relays returned to their second edition, a celebration of legacy and a powerful platform for the BVI's rising track stars. We sat down with Mr. Wayne Robinson, Program Officer for Sports at the Department of Youth Affairs and Sports, who helped spearhead the event and shared what makes it so impactful.
Patrick Harrigan, he's always been a stalwart in sports. Even when I was growing up, he was my physical education teacher. He transitioned into the Department of Youth Affairs and Sports, where he was instrumental in putting forward a lot of different sporting programs and so forth. So coming into the department, we know that there was a thirst for one of the most, significant events in track and field, which is relays. And we decided we wanted to do something in his honor. So
the first Patrick Harrigan Relays debuted in 2024, and thanks to the overwhelming community support, the event is quickly becoming a yearly staple. Robinson noted that the relays aren't just about honoring the past, they are about shaping the future of athletics in the Virgin Islands.
These events create an atmosphere where students come to perform, and they perform under the eyes of a lot of our track coaches. Most of our athletes that are on the big stage today, they started right here in grassroots, right here in the BVI, with some of the top coaches here, and then they move on to further their athletic career. So it's definitely important that we get the identification pool from the early stages, where we can have coaches select those athletes and put in their foundational training, and then they can move further on, whether to college or whether to professional to perform.
As students lace up their spikes and take to the track this weekend, Robinson had one final message for those chasing their dreams.
It's created a great opportunity platform for students. We can identify a number of or athletes that are now dominating on the big stage, or on their way to that path to performing big. So I would just say be dedicated. You come out, you train, and just do your best. And once it's all in the mind. If you have your mind, focused and everything is streamlined, you can make it big.
The Ministry of Education has made more monies available to the HLSCC Community College, which allows the institution to better pay its staff and pursue more initiatives. During his address at the college's 32nd graduation exercise last Thursday, President of the college, Dr. Richard Georges, thanked the ministry for its continued support.
Exemplified in a grant of $900,000 last year to support the outfitting and hiring at the Institute of Education in computer science and to support scholarships at the Institute of Education. The ministry has also provided the college a mandate and has granted the board its approval for the college to seek accreditation for 4-year degrees and graduate certificates. And we are happy that we were recently able to improve the salary scales at the college for faculty, retroactive January 1st. So I believe we can thank the board and the ministry for the support for those actions taken this year.
Dr. Georges emphasized that the college belongs to all of them and reiterated his call for talent sharing so they can accomplish much more.
Whether academic courses for transfer or employment, workforce training and development, environmental conservation, community programs, lectures, continuing education, film, drama, literary and performing arts, sport, we offer something for everyone. The college provides educational opportunity first and foremost, but it provides opportunities for cultural enrichment, community engagement, scientific research, and a safe place for us to grapple with society's biggest problems. It is time, 35 years in, for us to all think about how the college, this great dream of a visionary, can better serve the future of these Virgin Islands. To that end, I call on every corner of our community to reach out to us. Let us know what talents and resources you can provide to help us accomplish more and realize our mission and vision. HLSCC is a tight-knit family, bound together by shared purpose. We endeavor always to create an institution that places the needs of students first, that abides by the highest possible standards, and continues to cooperate with all stakeholders to improve the learning experience. Class of 2025, look around you. Your community is here to gather and acknowledge and celebrate your progress and excellence. Look at the pride in the faces of your families and friends. Look at the joy on the faces of your faculty. As you depart, regardless of your next step, I encourage you to remain curious and creative, to avoid quick conclusions and assumptions, to always question the validity of your positions and arguments, to be prepared to lose but ready to win, to be generous and empathetic, to be proud, not prideful, to be comfortable in discomfort, to be happier to do right than to be right, and above all else, to never stop dreaming.
Minister for Education, Youth Affairs and Sports, the Honorable Sharibi De Castro, has praised Right Way Food Markets for their ongoing support of the Eslin Henry Roche Learning Center during the center's 2025 graduation ceremony. The minister highlighted Right Way's role in promoting inclusive employment, calling their partnership a beacon of what partnership and inclusion looks like in action. Launched in 2024, the Eslin Henley Roche Learning Center's apprenticeship program, led by Principal Magdalene Allister and staff, offers students with a special education needs hands-on workplace experience, helping them to build life skills, confidence, as well as employability. The initiative connects education with the private sector, fostering smoother transitions from school to work and promoting the value of a very diverse abilities within the workforce. Right Way's Community and Cultural Assistant, Karen Ward, congratulated the graduates and announced that 2 program, participants have been offered jobs at Rightway following their internship from October of 2024 to June of 2025. Up next, $54 million regional plan launched to boost pandemic readiness and resilience. We have this and much more coming right up.
My name's Henry Bosch. I work for PPG. I'm here to explain to you the use of the Deltron NXT paint line and Enviro-based high performance, one being solvent-borne and the next being waterborne. The difference is that one is totally manufactured with rosins and thinners and all the good stuff that solvents bring versus our new technology, which is waterborne, which is 100% latex. What we're gonna do is that we reduce the solvent-borne with a DT885, which is a mid-temp reducer, and the waterborne uses T494, which is a waterborne reducer. We will today be using either DCU 2042, which is a speed clear, or we will be using DCU 2021, which is a classic. We have here our equipment. We have 8-ounce measuring cups, and we also have our 32-ounce mixing cup. We will also have with us our Venturi. This is a blower for us to dry the waterborne paint, which speeds up the process. The good thing about waterborne paint is that as soon as it evaporates, you're good to go. So now Gilligan will dilute the waterborne paint with the waterborne reducer. We made 8 ounces, that would be 1.6 ounce. It always has to be properly mixed until we get an even mixture within the paint mixing cup. So when we spray, we don't see uneven coats of color. So right now, we're filling our paint gun with 8 ounces of diluted paint. We're gonna see how far 8 ounces will take us. Waterborne paint seems to look blotchy on your first coat. Don't pay no mind to that. Don't try to achieve full coverage on your first spray. Excellent. Let it dry. So the process in waterborne is 2 even coats, and then we have what we call a dust coat. Well, now we're gonna have Mr. Brown apply the first coat of clear on his waterborne panel. We'll let it flash off, and then he'll come back and coat it with his second coat to finish it off. As you had seen in the previous shots, we had a little blotchiness, and you'll see some patches. That's all due on purpose to sandpaper to prove that with Enviro-based high performance, all technicians, the body work has to end at 800 grit or plus. Well, Enviro-based is like we're trying to shift everyone into that slowly but surely. The entire west coast of the United States and all of Canada has already been on waterborne for the past 10 years. And now soon it'll be the eastern seaboard, which covers the Caribbean. So when that happens, we'll all be affected. So it's best to start now, start trying and applying waterborne, because eventually everyone will be on it. And referring to technicians, it's less harmful because it doesn't have all the toxic chemicals that solvent-borne paints do.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. Talk show host Claude Skelton-Klein believes the BVI's gray listing from the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, would lure businesses away from the territory. The Virgin Islands was placed under increased monitoring at the FATF plenary last Friday, which is the gray list. This followed the BVI's mutual evaluation report published in February of 2024 after the accessor team had visited the jurisdiction in March of 2023. Now, officials say that colleagues within the Financial Services Commission and elsewhere had already been working hard to correct the deficiencies identified in the report over the past year and have succeeded in implementing many actions to the satisfaction of the FTF. During Honestly Speaking program, host Claude Skelton-Klein painted a picture of what this gray listing can potentially do.
And I know that the BVI Finance, and I suppose that I guess they should, do the best they can to put a positive spin on it. They have even gone as far as telling us that Cayman used to be on it, and So things are not that bad, and this is going to make us better and more robust. And I understand that, and all of that has its place. It has been under attack now in earnest for the last 10 years. The FATF, Financial Action Task Force, and the people that the BVI Finance with the junior minister attended, I guess, about a week ago now. And what they tell us is that it will take some 2 years to get off of this gray list. What they will also tell us is that this does not impact our registration. Got to put a question mark there. What the government will tell us is that we have received more funding from financial services. We have to put an exclamation there and ask also an interrogative, why is that? What we do know is this, and again, I can understand and I can appreciate BVI Finance trying to put the best spin on this. But here's what we also know on the other side. We know that Nevis, the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis, is making tremendous inroad towards some of our business incorporations to relocate to Nevis. We know that Cayman is also after our business digital asset. And what we do know is that when we are gray listed, when we are placed in these categories, it further gives those jurisdiction ammunition for inviting and luring away from us the things that encumbers us here. That's the reality. And yes, we have seen some increase in the dollar amount that we receive from financial services, but that is a result of the increase of the fees we have on incorporation.
SKELTON CLINE also shared that being gray listed, the territory cannot afford to have any bank failures. He also urged the public not to get caught up in the rumor mill.
I need us, whether it's on the Bank of Asia matter or any other matter for that point, is to stop diving into creating oceans of rumors. Allow our systems, our processes, our internal machinations to work. I don't know what all has transpired here. I'm not an expert in this field, but I'm wise enough, knowledgeable enough to know that when things are moving fast, slow down. When people are out here waxing eloquent with all manner of stuff, guard your ears, guard your eyes. We are a country of laws. This is not the wild, wild west. There's certain things that happens in private industry that affects government, true. There's things that happen in government that affect the private industry, true. But we are a country of laws, of systems, of structure, of processes. Allow them to work. Now, what I know, beyond gray listing, given that financial services is one of two of our major pillars, and we are being negligent in creating other pillars. I'll come back to that. Stick a pin in that. What I know is that we cannot allow and should not allow and cannot afford to have any bank failures. That I know. I'm talking to you now, financial services, and all of the requisite agencies that's responsible for the oversight, the management of this particular industry. We cannot afford And we must do everything in our power to ensure that Bank of Asia and or any other bank, including the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, which there is a lot to be said about this bank, and I'm going to come to that in the weeks to come, we can't allow for bank failures.
The new regional health initiative to boost pandemic preparedness across the Eastern Caribbean was officially launched in St. Lucia on June 11, 2025. The multi-country project, titled Strengthening Prevention, Preparedness and Response to Emerging Health Threats in the Eastern Caribbean, is supported by the Pandemic Fund and will benefit 6 participating nations. They are Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts, St. Lucia, and Nevis, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The launch event held at the Harbor Club brought together ministers of health and agriculture, senior government officials, as well as regional and international partners, including the OCS, PAHO, World Health Organization, FAO, CARFRA, and the World Bank, as well as the Pandemic Fund. The ceremony included the unveiling of a project plaque marking the beginning of coordinated action across sectors and borders. Designed around a One Health approach, the initiative focuses on strengthening interconnected areas of human, animal, and environmental health. Key action include improving disease surveillance, laboratory diagnostics, workforce development, and early response mechanisms across health and veterinary sectors. The initiative is funded by a U.S. $24.4 million grant from the Pandemic Fund, with an additional U.S. $30 million leveraged through a co-financing and support from regional stakeholders. PAHO and the World Health Organization leads the health-focused implementation. FAO oversees agricultural health measures, and the World Bank supports policy coordination and knowledge exchange. Regional leaders applauded the launch. Dr. Amelia Del Rigo of PAHO and the World Health Organization called it a major milestone, saying it will enhance each country's ability to detect, respond to, and prevent health threats. Dr. Renata Clark, FAO's CEO, emphasized the importance of integrated investment, noting that stronger animal health systems can reduce disease transmission as well as economic impact. Executive Head of the Pandemic Fund, Priya Basu, and World Bank Director Lilia Bakushi also praised the partnership for its strategic alignment with economic and social development goals. The project arrives at a time when Caribbean nations remain vulnerable to future outbreaks. Up next, Education Ministry focuses on infrastructure, resources, as well as training. An Olympic Voices talk show set to launch on Saturday, June 21st on ZBVI 780 AM. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What do you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What do you really? Hey, this ain't like you, know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I hot. I watching ball. I even watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Welcome back, everyone, and thanks for sticking with us. In a recent episode of Virgin Islands Voice, the Honorable Cherie B. DeCastro, Minister for Education, Youth Affairs, and Sports, highlighted that the government is actively reimagining education by focusing on infrastructure, resources, and training. She highlighted the current efforts and priorities in reimagining and improving education in the Virgin Islands.
When we speak about full steam ahead, we really mean developing skills like critical thinking, problem solving, creation, innovation, collaboration, communication. Those are the type of skills, no matter the content area, that if you develop them, our children can be successful. And that's the linkage to employability. If you look at the stats across the world, those are the skills that employers from the Fortune 500 companies to the very small businesses are saying an A, a letter grade, no longer is fit for purpose. We need to graduate students with skills. So what have we been doing? One of the things that we did recently, I believe the position may still be advertising or it may have been closed recently, but we strategically, through the court process, created a career and college counselor position in the Ministry of Education. Now, that is very huge because for a very long time, while our school counselors have been seeking to bridge that gap, given their responsibilities, it's a mammoth task. And so we've introduced this position to really become a monitoring tool and mechanism for our secondary school students or senior secondary school students to be guided along strategic career pathways so that they can understand the type of subjects that they must take. Strategic to this as well is we have recently redeveloped our senior secondary program. We've had a significant stakeholder consultation, and the team is soon going to roll out in a phased approach this renewed senior secondary program at our public schools. And it really speaks to creating access to career readiness. One of the aims of the ministry is to ensure that students are walk ready. In order to do that, we have to be more strategic regarding our offerings and how we allow students to select those offerings so that when they are able to access HLSCC, as an example, they have the foundational skills in the requisite areas to be able to morph into these career paths with their associate degrees.
Minister De Castro also highlighted focused attempts on technical education in the territory.
It has been something that has been on our radar, and we have really been working as well. When you look at the Virgin Islands School of Technical Studies, we've really been liaising with industry. Industry dictates standards, especially in the technical fields. So we've been building more partnerships with industry specific to TVET because we understand that there's a reality of great need in that industry, and we want to make sure that the students that we are developing in our school system really meet the standard of the industry that they are going to enter into. One last thing I'll say is one of the huge parts of the redevelopment of the senior secondary program is the inclusion of an apprenticeship requirement for graduation. In order to ensure that children have those real-life walk-ready skills, one of the things we recently did as well, Karia, is we re-engaged the job training. I benefited from job training when I was a student at the Elmore South High School. That program has been stopped for quite some time. Just this year, we have restarted that program, but we're building on that to say that senior secondary students exiting secondary school must have an apprenticeship as a part of their graduation requirements, so they get into the job and they're able to really see and feel what it means to work in industry, and they're able to link what they're learning in the classroom to industry. And so I want to put a pitch out there to the business community. We will be engaging with you to seek placements for our students in the various areas. Students are interested, but they need access. And so in order to ensure that education is meeting its mandate of work readiness, we have included this apprenticeship program, and I'm hopeful that both government and the private sector will ensure that they give our students access to hopefully see the entry-level requirements necessary to be successful on the job.
The British Virgin Islands Olympic Committee, with support from Olympic Solidarity, is launching a new interactive radio show titled Olympic Voices, debuting on Saturday, June 21st at 3 p.m. on radio station ZBVI 780 AM. Hosted by Zebulon McLean, the show will explore the spirit of sport through the lens of Olympic values, respect, friendship, and excellence. Listeners are said to be able to expect a dynamic mix of sports, history, cultural, lifestyle, and Olympic aspirations featuring athletes, National Federation, athletics members, and community influencers. Olympic Voice isn't, they say, just about athletics. It's about the stories, struggles, and triumphs that shape our lives through sport, said Ephraim Penn, BVI OC president. Now, the show invites weekly listener participation, offering a platform for real conversations that is said to go beyond the playing field and into the heart of what sports means to the community. That is it for today's News Roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at Tweet4Media and Tweet4BVI on Instagram and X, formerly Twitter. I'm Ron Grant. Do have a safe and enjoyable weekend. A happy Friday. I'll see you tomorrow for our weekly News Roundup. Goodbye.